moving on again tomorrow and the packing has begun. I thought I'd do a little mini guide on how to do the packing. So the packing process every time we move on is the same. Basically, Paul is the gatherer and I'm the packer. So he gathers everything from throughout the flat and bring it into this one room. I then put it all on the bed and it just all goes on there. And then I just literally go through it piece by piece, put it into these very useful packing bags, which we got from Amazon. Just pack it up bit by bit. So the process is quite easy. It means that we don't tend to leave anything behind. It means that I can just do it all in one go. It makes the process quite quick as well. And this is what we've done with every place that we've moved on from. So this is our 30th pack now, I think, on our journey. So we're pretty well used to it. So off I go. So as part of the packing process, one of the things I do is I actually pick out all of the clothes that we're going to wear tomorrow, so that when we get up in the morning we have to move on and get the train, we don't have to worry about what we're going to wear and all the rest of it. So I get that all out for everyone. They have their little piles in the morning, we just put them on and then off we can go. So everything else then gets packed. It just makes the process very easy. So another tip that I've learned having to pack up for us about 30 times is that I don't try and do it at any other time apart from in the evening, the night before we're actually leaving, or in the morning when we leave, depending on how much time. So if we're able to leave at 12, then if I'm feeling particularly tired, I won't pack until the next day. But if we have to get up in the morning early, then I'll pack the evening before, and I'll do it after all the girls are in bed, because then I've got everything. Because what used to happen before is I used to pack the day before we used to leave. I used to pack in the morning, and then all of the stuff would be taken out and the girls would be playing with this, that and the other, and then I'd have to pretty much keep packing. And so now I just leave it for that whole day before we go, and then I just spend the evening packing the rest of the stuff while everyone's in bed. And then or I'll do it first thing in the morning before we have to head off, so that I know I've got everything, they've got their clothes that they need, and I can just make sure that I pack everything up. So that's a bit of a tip, because it can be very frustrating if you've spent quite a lot of time packing and then people keep pulling bits and pieces out. So it's already starting to look a little bit more organised. There's still plenty more to do. So the next thing I do once I've started to sort of get the bulk of the clothes in is we have 6 bags. We have 1 bag each. Me and Paul have really big bags, and the girls have these little bags here, and Lily has a sort of medium-sized bag. So my bag, Paul's bag and Lily's bag basically have things that we don't need on the train journey, whereas these 3, I think these are 40-litre bags. I start to separate things into what we're going to need on the train journey, or what we're going to need on a plane, and so on. And then the other stuff goes into a section which is basically things that we're not going to need, and the other stuff goes into and evenly weighted into these other bags here, so that Olivia has very little to carry, Allegra has little to carry, and then Ruby also has little to carry, so that they don't put too much pressure on their back. So this little piece of kit has by far been one of our most useful pieces of kit. It's basically a way of keeping all of your camera bits and pieces, hard drives, and all the loose wires. And it's waterproof, and it's very padded, so everything gets protected. But the main thing is that it's all organised. That's a really cool bit of kit, and just organises all of this into a sort of nice, clean, and organised state. The other things that have been really useful for us are these packing bags, and honestly they are just so brilliant for just cramming everything together and getting the best out of the space that you have. So we're already looking more organised. Things are starting to be put in their little pouches and pockets and relevant places. The thing about packing like this when you're on the move basically every week or 4 days or sometimes 2 days is to really have these sort of compartments, so that you can make sure that you're not having to unpack totally if you're only somewhere for 2 days, and then it's really easy to pack if you do have to keep moving on. One thing to bear in mind, and one thing that I do, is I just remember how I pack things. So for example, Lily always gets the sandals, she always gets the dirty washing bag in her bag, the teddies, and so on and so forth. So I have a very structured system as to what gets packed in what bag, in what order, and that really helps you, because it just makes it easy. You know what you're doing, it just gets done, you know what needs to be in each bag and things like that. So I think it really helps the process. So these bags that we've got, which are Osprey, and they are quite expensive, but they are the best bags I've ever had, the best rucksacks I've ever had. And as you can see, you can fit quite a lot in there. It looks like it's not going to make it. There's the zip line, and that's quite a lot higher. But it will, it'll all go in there. It's incredibly comfortable on your back, even though you've got a huge amount of stuff in there. So here we go, I'm going to try and zip it all up. A handy tip when zipping stuff up is to put a towel over the top, just like this, because it protects this material from getting pierced by anything that might be in any of these two things that's a little bit hard. But basically you just need to be careful that nothing's poking through and might cause a hole in the canvas of the bag. Right, job done. Got the rucksacks ready to go. Those ones are for computers and things like that, which we'll be using tonight. I got clothes ready for tomorrow. Those are our little bags that we carry around with us with all the essentials and things that need charging before we go. It took about an hour, if I'm going to be honest. That's quite an easy method to pack your stuff, and it makes you maintain your sanity when you have to do it so regularly. So the last stage of the packing process is that I go around and I clean up, sweep everything and clean up everything just to make sure that we haven't left anything behind. It's amazing what you'll actually find that Paul hasn't spotted and picked up. So today I just did a sweep around and there was some stuff hiding under a chair. So now I have to pack that. Unexpected surprise on the train. Apparently you get a free snack with your ticket. And unfortunately it's plastic filled.
Thanks for watching. I hope you liked our video. Don't forget to tell us what you thought. Subscribe to the TaawkTV channel.